Like, let me tell you a very real problem we've got in esports, right? And we've had it for a while, and we're only just turning the fucking corner on it. And it is the disproportionate amount of influence and power orgs and pro players have over the competitive integrity of tournaments. I'm talking about fucking admins being straight up bullied, straight up threatened, straight up afraid to make decisions. I'm talking about really bad admins making decisions and going to players, right, decide among yourselves which way it's going to go up. You know, we'll let you... No. An admin ruling has to be final. Do we even have a sport, by the way, if we can't even referee it properly without big reputations influencing the outcome? We already got enough problems with match fixers and cheaters and all sorts of other cunts in the fucking scene. And what, we're just going to let players and orgs bully the referees now on top of all of that? No, absolutely not. And let me tell you, all of these people who are doing big eyes and fire emoji and all the other stuff because you can't communicate in words because you're all about 80 IQ, which is why you're on the wrong side of this argument, right? At the end of the day, if it happened to you where a bigger team influenced an admin via a threat of leveraging their social media to get you knocked out a tournament or put you in an unfavorable position, you would be crying about it for years. So no, he's not spitting fax machine emoji. He's not doing that. What he's doing is disrupting the fucking competitive integrity of an emergent esport, and you should fucking care about that because that's your bread and butter, you dickheads.
My man is disrupting the landscape of an emergent like that. That sounds even sicker, actually. Write that down, boys.
It's actually unreal, though. It's like there has to be adults in the room. I'm sick of it having to be fucking me all the time or somebody else with a bit of experience. If you cannot see the bigger problem here, that actually we're saying, well, because it's 100 Thieves and we all love their merch and we all love courage and, you know, we all love this, it's actually okay that they do it now. No, it's actually unforgivable what they've done. Because not only have they, in the first instance, basically been rude and talked down to an admin who has already made a decision, then delayed the tournament for an hour, disrespecting their teammates, disrespecting the fans who wanted to tune in and watch them play, by extension, their own fans, but 100 Thieves fans are all morons who are brainwashed, so you're never going to make them see how disrespectful it is in the long run. On top of all of that, you then release, essentially, contrived, edited footage to get a favourable public outcome, knowing all the while you have previously admitted to the offence you are now denying publicly. If I was Riot, I'd have fucking banned you cunts for 6 months straight up. Your feet would not touch the floor.
You know my favorite thing about this too, Richard, is like AT&T sponsors that gaming room or whatever, and basically that video is like 850,000 views when I looked at it when I watched it today on Twitter. Of it's just this guy sitting in the corner and like the AT&T logo right in the middle, and then just like shouting about ping, which, by the way, especially when it's an internet issue. So, for example, I have AT&T fiber, which is wonderful, by the way. It works very nicely here in Los Angeles. You can sponsor this show. We won't throw you under the bus. But that said, if I was complaining, if I was AT&T and I saw a 1 million viewed video with my logo in the middle and the subject is ping, and basically I'm just listening to "we have horrible ping" while I'm staring at an AT&T logo, and those things are just merging into one thing in my brain, right? AT&T equals horrible ping. And then on top of that, the video is literally a guy just shouting down an admin and holding a tournament hostage. You know, AT&T, I don't know if I'd be happy with that. I don't know if that's kind of the brand association I want, either in terms of subject or in terms of content, right? It's a really bad look. And I don't, this is another one of those things like what happened with TSM and the Lenovo
need to abuse a customer services representative in perfect clarity. Why not use AT&T? Need to get your Karen on? AT&T has you covered. The optics of it are fucking terrible.
But like, why would that not come into the decision-making process that you have, right? Because that's one of the first things that I see when I watch that clip. And it just makes it even worse in many ways, right? So I don't know. Like
no one in 100 Thieves was thinking any of that. They were just thinking about, they see me rolling, they hating, and then they were just fucking posting the video on the internet. They don't think about it. Then they went, fucking hell, 900k views. This is almost like when we challenge each other to, like, I don't know, fucking say some shit about the other COD team.
Dude, I can't wait until they generate a sponsorship report and then they include those numbers in the AT&T and be like, look,
Course.
AT&T,
Yeah.
we got this. Look at this million social media impressions we got over this. Not
Dude,
even
I'm
like
surprised Nadeshot hasn't already tweeted. I'm surprised Nadeshot hasn't tweeted out yet like 10,000 retweets, and I'll tattoo fucking Free Dahomey Frost in fucking Gothic across my face. Like that's the sort of level these clout chasers are on. One thing I wanted to bring up though, 'cause I said it earlier, I wanted to tie back into it, right? Which is I made the case earlier and I very briefly alluded to it. One of the reasons this is a massive topic to me and Richard is we've just come out of the era when that was acceptable in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Now, to some degree, it isn't because the teams get paid fucking appearance fees. They get treated very, very well by the events. They get flown there by the events. They get good hotels. They get the brand of fucking spring water that only this cunt can drink. And then now, the only thing we argue about in CS is like, can I wear a hat under my fucking headphones? Like, again, stuff that's so trivial. Again, that's why I was loving when these guys went to Valorant. So you just enjoy that game, mate. But here's the thing, right? If I go back in time, even in CSGO, the history of like mad bias by admins due to fear of the popularity and potential backlash and reprisals of a big name player disagreeing with you has ruined actual tournaments. Like basically, without going too far, I can actually say it probably decided who won a fucking major in CSGO because the admins involved were Swedish and the team that they were involved with was Swedish and they were trying to give this Swedish team every possible out to get in a scenario to win a major. Like they would go back, and so a bunch of French players had to argue with some Swedish like fucking volunteer level admins and then guys who make pittance back then over whether a Swedish team committed a violation. Like, you don't want to be in that situation. And then, like I said, in past years, it was even worse. When you were just on LAN and there was no cameras, it was an absolute fucking Wild West. And back then, I used to literally say to these TOs, don't tell me, oh, but we had to do it because, you know, they were going to walk out. I said, then disqualify them. Be the one who has the balls to disqualify the team, the world number one at this tournament, and make sure they never do it again. And you know what? If you do that, if you actually had the balls to do it, now actually the ball's in their court. Now it's their all go who's going to be mad at them. So I sent you to this event and you've been disqualified and you had a chance to win it and you got nothing from it. The sponsors are paying your salaries. Like, that's what I've been waiting for so many years. So to see a brand new game where everyone's hyping the fuck that's the next future of esports. No, well, not right yet, but the future of esports. Like another one of those games. Like, and it's got shit from like 15 years ago. Now I'm hearing about ping problems. There's no servers within the same part of the fucking country. Now admins are just going, oh, sorry, sir. Yep. Right. Sure thing. Oh, no, please don't tweet about me. Like, what is this? This isn't a professional esport.
Sideshow, you want to chime in here? Sorry, I know you've had.
I was gonna comment on the previous thing as well.
We can go back. Let's do it.
The cloud chasing aspect of it too.
Yeah,
because
totally.
just after I'd finished doing a podcast on about this topic as part of it, I looked at my YouTube channel and I'm following the Call of Duty League, and they have a video that they just released called "LA Thieves versus Kindergartners," and that's a video that they posted an hour ago, and all they needed to do was go into the other room. Apparently, that's literally all they had to do. Was the 100 Thieves Call of Duty team just had to walk into the other room and take a look at what was happening in the AT&T Valorant mobile room, and there you go. There's your whole video.
Well played.
I mean, look, on the cloud chasing aspect of it, it's like, look, this is a real problem because, you know, I'm going to say something that's going to be deeply controversial and divisive, but it's true. Americans and Europeans don't think the same way about things, in particular sports. And for the longest period of time, you've seen the schism that's occurring in esports where more and more these owners don't want to actually build something that's about success and excellence. They want to build something that's based on ROI, you know, return of investment. And they're not really interested. ROI is definitely the priority over trophies. I think in Europe, we're still thinking about silverware as being the number one, you know, metric by which you judge how successful you've been. And this is why things like the Overwatch League are artificially propped up and CDL suddenly interesting. You know, Nadeshot says, I don't want to be in that unless they make concessions, and then he's in that, right?
You know, a lot more money to get into that, by the way, because the CDL did very well in year one. And so certainly the price of franchising increased, right?
Mm. And so what we end up with is that, as I say, because Americans have blurred the lines between this we're an esports team, like we're an esports org, but we've got influencers, we're doing music videos, we're selling merchandise.
They don't know if they're a sports team or an entertainment product.
Exactly. And what's ended up happening is, unfortunately, as you have in North America, all the adults now in the room, because a lot of people have sold up, and you've got this new wave of people who are running supposedly esports orgs, but the only thing they've ever built in their lives is a fucking YouTube channel, you know, and they're running a multifaceted business. They don't really understand what esports is, even if they've been competitors themselves in some areas. And so what you end up with is all of that stuff that works in the influencer world. You know, hey, why don't we settle this with the boxing match? I totally hate you, bro. Here's your video. And they make videos about each other and all that nonsense and 10,000 retweets. None of that works here in esports. None of that matters. Like,
except for this show.
Yes, of course. You know, and
could have been rough. Actually, that's a good point, Marty. That could have been rough.
Good save.
Yes.
Good save. No, but how else could we get the American Zoomers to watch?
True.
If if they're like, oh look, it must be good. They're getting retweets. You fucking rubes, all of you. But anyway, right? Yeah, good point. We're hypocrites, but whatever. Now shut the fuck up and listen. So the reality is that you end up with all of that stuff bleeding through, and so the clout chasing aspect is this: 100 Thieves don't even care about the ruling. They don't care about the result. In fact, they never even cared about the disadvantage. What they actually care about is being able to not be Riot's bitch, being able to exercise influence, and being able to show their fans, we're in charge, we're building Valorant, we're a big name, we're not a pushover. It's the exact same thing with TSM, it's the exact same thing with Cloud9, it's the exact same thing with a number of esports organizations. They want the public perception to be that we are in control, that at the very worst, it's a symbiotic relationship we have with Riot. And look at all of our fans that agree with us. How can so many people be wrong? So when you take that attitude into competition, the rest of the world is going to look upon that distastefully. In fact, there's a number of American orgs that aren't as big as those guys that are going to look on that distastefully. And I find like the clout chasing aspect of it has no place in competition.